Hey ladies and gents, and welcome back. So we shot a lot of videos last summer and you guys filled our inbox or the comment section below asking why we were wearing flip-flops in certain videos. You caught us repairing John Lobbs and Allen Edmonds and a bunch of other high-end shoes, and there, for one quick brief second, you would find that snippet where we were wearing flip-flops.
So that is actually our brand of sandals. We started making those in the summer of 2014, and today we're actually going to take you behind the scenes on how we actually make those. All right, y'all, so a little background onto the project that we're actually going to do for you today here is when Trent and I got this place years ago, we noticed the very first year that during the summertime, particularly down here in the South, shoe repair kind of drops off because, you know, the businesses, the standard tire gets a little more casual, people go on vacation, and sandals are a really big thing down here in the South. So we've got to do something to kind of supplement our income during the summertime back then. And we came up with the idea of coming up with our own type of sandals. So I remember during our childhood being down in Italy, and then when I was in college, I studied in Italy and remembered how they made their sandals and decided let's do something very similar. So we launched Southern Polished back then. And one of the sandals that we're actually going to be doing today is going to be our ladies sandals based on that Italian construction. So let's get to it. All right, so these sandals are actually very simple in construction because they've been making them this way for decades. And the construction of these things are really good, especially in warmer climates. Now, the first year, during that first summer, we noticed that so many ladies were bringing in sandals saying, hey, the straps came out or the whole sole fell off. And the reason for that is because the heat from the pavement can reactivate the glue, and a lot of these rubber soles are just glued on and they fall apart. I mean, you probably have had a sandal fall apart before. So in Italy, where it's nice and hot, especially down here in the South, same thing, it's best to use leather soles and then actually stitch the sole on just like a normal shoe. So we have sole leather, we add a little bit of pour-on in between, and then we just have a little bit of veg tan shoulder leather, and that's gonna make the base that we're actually gonna put our straps in, and then we'll add a heel later on. Okay, so the first thing we're actually gonna do is just start putting some glue. We're not gonna use a whole lot of glue. The tops, the part you're gonna stand on, just a vegetable tan shoulder leather, and we are going to put a little bit of glue just around the edge of this. Now, just like when you see us do shoes, we don't like to rely strictly on glue for everything because glue comes undone. This glue is strictly to hold all the layers together. And if you glue all your straps, then they can come out. And the thing about this type of shoe is the straps actually go in last versus just putting them through and then gluing them down to this layer here. We're gonna make the whole base first. All right, so now that we finished putting a little bit of glue just around the top, we're gonna turn to our sole leather. Now this is hard sole leather, and a lot of people say, well, is the sole leather comfortable? It's very flexible and it molds to your foot. So yes, it's traditional, and that's why I love to stick with sole leather. We're gonna put glue all over this one, and then some glue on our pour-on so that we actually can glue that one to that to the sole, and then the little bit that's left over will actually stick to the upper, squeeze that down, and actually stitch it. So let's put some glue all over this piece of sole leather. And then we're going to put the glue on one side, our sole side of our pour-on. Give you a little bit of cushion right there. Now, while we were waiting for the glue to dry on this one, here we're just doing one. Normally, we've got like a whole table of all the parts laid out, and we just go along and we glue and kind of assembly line it with the crew. And by the time we get to the one side, the glue's ready to be stuck on this side, and then we just, you know, can put them all together and knock out a bunch of bases at one time. Now, the good thing about this is that we can just focus on just making the bases and then finishing those and then storing those. And then when a customer wants a particular style, the bases are all the same. We can then just go through and cut the slots for whatever pattern they want, whatever leathers they want, and then make that style. So it's less inventory for us, and we can just kind of make them a la carte. All right, glue's set up. We'll stick this, put our top on. And then we'll put this on the press. All right, so we're going to groove this out, which is what separates our sandals from a lot of other sandals. For one, we use leathers. Most sandals use rubber. We stitch it instead of just glue it, and then we actually groove it out just like a normal shoe to protect the stitches, so it'll last a lot longer. And we'll get this a couple times and get a little deeper. All right, so we've stitched our base together. Now we're going to put on a heel. Now you've got two options when it comes to these type of sandals, and tradition is kind of either one. You see a lot that actually have a heel, and so you can get these with a stacked heel, and if it does have a stacked heel, it will have a metal shank inside for arch support, and so that will kind of give you the idea of what it'll look like. They very popular, but also very popular are just the flats. So you can kind of see the profile of it. And well, let's see. I'm trying to find my mark. There it is. Rough this up so that the glue can really adhere to the leather, because the heel is going to be glued on, but we go and put multiple coats on instead of most factories put one coat on, and since we are relying just on glue, we overdo it. All right, so we have finished up our base. We actually went through and put some sealant on top of the leather. And the really cool thing about veg tan leather is that it continually tans through the age. So this leather will continue to darken as you wear it, and it turns to this beautiful golden color. So we're gonna make the style that we call the Charleston, and we've got our little templates for our straps. We're going to do these out of navy blue. These straps are also made out of veg tan. So this is the difference. We can cut the slots after the sandal is made. All right, so if we're not going to glue the straps, like a lot of most mass-produced shoes, and we're going to cut the slots afterwards, how are the straps actually held in? You know, they can't just come slipping out. So they're actually traditionally tacked. And since I know everybody likes the little anvil that could, it serves its purpose in here. So the tack actually will go through and crimp into the leather and holds the strap. And it keeps it from, now that it won't come out because of the glue. It's in there. All right, so this one is actually put together, and as you can see, these are actually tacked in by brass tacks, and they go all the way through, and they crimp, and so these things aren't coming out. All right, and the question that sometimes we get is it actually going to mess with your floors? No, it's actually not. It's pretty flush with the leather, and when it crimps on this metal anvil, it flattens out, so it's safe for your floors as well. And technically, you can even send these back to your cobbler and have them recrafted if you wanted to.
All right, folks, so that just about does it. If you are interested in checking out our sandals, we will put the link down below. The website is southernpolish.com, and we have a selection of both men's and women's.
And just to let you know, we have a lot of new styles, new leather types coming out, both in men's and women's here in the next few weeks. So keep checking back because you might see something else that you like as well. And also make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Southern Polished. Make sure you tell your friends, and until next time, have a good one.